Hi there, welcome back to UB Studio. I'm UB and today I brought another mixed media art vlog. And in this art vlog, I will talk about my thoughts about repetition and discipline in your art practice, and we'll go through my art process in chronological order. So let's go. So after the first few series that I have kind of started that push or the first kick of my mixed media series, I did start on another series. I kind of go by series and collections so I could repeat, and that's why I really wanted to talk about the power of repetition and consistency in my art practice. I think the reason why we always stop in front of another artwork or another music piece or another challenge that we face, and I always wonder, even though I repeat and repeat, why am I still scared and why am I still kind of intimidated of a new fresh start? And during the mixed media series that I really pushed, the last quarter, which was 10 weeks, I realized that the fear ironically gets bigger and deeper when we don't repeat enough. For in this case, mixed media artwork is new to me. It was going on a new path that I've never been to, and the fear was getting bigger as I was just thinking about it and as I was planning things, but I wasn't really acting upon it as much as I can. I think that when the balance wasn't harmonizing, I realized that it collapses. You really need to not only act upon whatever you're thinking in your head or visualizing in your artistic sketchbook in your brain, you have to repeat it. Because I think repetition applies to everything in our lives. It's like if you meet somebody that you really like, in the beginning you're so frightened, you're so scared that how that person's going to look at you, how that person's going to judge you because you like them. So I think a favor or an interest or an attraction, even if that's not a person, it could be your artwork, it can be your future, it can be a relationship with God, whatever that is, it brings fear. And I think not because we are doing something wrong, not because I'm not capable, it's because just a natural form of tale that a interest creates. And as a human that we carry all kinds of weaknesses and past and traumas and scars, we become scared naturally. In this specific mixed media artwork, I wanted to challenge myself to really explore the landscape. So before, all my landscapes or the abstract background was just kind of like free painted strokes or a lot of texture. That was about it. But I wanted to challenge a bit more to create some kind of landscape or a memory that I have in the past about the places that I lived in the world. And specifically, I did want to push a little bit more oriental beauty. Here I did pull off or I got inspired by Oriental, Japanese and Korean paintings and the history, and I try to kind of put that in around the area to make it more of like a fairy tale or a kind of a Mulan look. But after I went around the figure, I realized it did resemble the fairy tale of Thumbelina because she looked, small around all those natural elements, and I thought it was perfect with the story. I loved working the hair in this part because that long braided hair really represented the classical or historical hair that the Korean woman had in the history, and adding more elements of flowers and greenery with color pencil to kind of add the details and the fine lines was to finish up this work. And just as we spend time with somebody, we start to slowly let go of the fear that we have because we get used to it. And we realize that after we spend that time and experience of whatever subject that you were feared about, we realize that we are actually capable, that we are actually more able and beautiful and surprisingly full of abilities, that we can actually be loved. We can actually make this artwork real. We can actually make the relationship with God restored. So I really want to recommend, if you are in a phase or when you always feel feared in front of your artworks, I just tell you to replay and repeat until that fear goes away. And one more thing, I've been a photographer for a really long time, and repeating, even though I repeated for so long years, there was one thing that I was missing that could really take my fear away, and that was the presence of the Holy Spirit. So there's a more important part. If you are not with the Holy Spirit in your repetition, I'm not sure if I can guarantee how long that's going to take. It might take longer than you think, but I believe when you pray for the Holy Spirit to be in your artwork and be in your repetition, your fear will go away instantly. And I believe that is the love and the warmth of the Holy Spirit. I love the scenery of ocean and the nature. I love the forest and the beach at the same time. So here I did add some elements from the aquarium that I visited, as I mentioned last time as well, which there's both greenery and ocean at the same time. It's kind of like under the sea forest. Just from my imagination, putting things whatever I like. And having or exploring that new landscape was kind of like a challenge because I'm not a landscape photographer, or I don't think I am fond of creating landscapes, but it was a great challenge to push to think in different terms rather than just focusing on the figure, which was very beneficial. And lastly, I know that repeating over and over again about something that you love or something that you like, I know it takes a lot of time. I mean, I made a whole series of work non-stop for 10 weeks. It was for school, but it was for myself too. And I know it takes effort and it could feel like a long walk, but I believe repetition, the core of the repetition here is to repeat with God, is to have Jesus in center and repeat as much as you can until you realize that the center of this work is not from your fingers or not from your will, but from the power of the heaven. I hope you enjoyed this mixed media landscape and figure artwork today. This took longer than I thought, but it was worth to really invest time in the landscape in a different way that I've never tried, and it was part of my precious repetition work with Holy Spirit. I hope the repetition that you're going to challenge yourself will not only push you in terms of artist and techniques, but it'll push your relationship with God, and you will see amazing things that the Holy Spirit can do in your art journey. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next art vlog. Bye!